You think you know Ray Charles. After all, he was an American icon whose career spanned almost half a century.
What did you think of that movie, sir?
I didn't see it.
A musical genius who refused to let blindness or the color of his skin be a handicap, only to face even greater challenges. You think you know Ray Charles.
But you don't know me.
Ray Charles was a genius. Any genius is pretty complicated, pretty thorny. They've got that beautiful kind of charming side, and on the other side, they could be bastards. And let me tell you something, Ray Charles filled that bill beautifully.
There is something that you love more than me and them boys, more than all the women you ever slept with on the road, more than all the dope you ever took. Your music.
What you don't know about Ray Charles, you soon will know, thanks to film director Taylor Hackford.
The story of Ray Charles is the story of people underestimating his talent and his intelligence and his ambition.
Ray, the motion picture, hits theaters this weekend with Jamie Foxx in the title role. It is a stunning performance, almost certain to be nominated for an Academy Award. Yet, this biographical masterpiece almost wasn't made.
I believe that it would be a great story because the audience would be discovering something new, surprising, sometimes frightening. The problem was, I saw it, but nobody else did. I never thought it would take 15 years.
Hello. I'm Monica.
How you, Monica?
Good to meet you.
You don't say.
I interviewed Ray Charles for Close-Ups in 1988, the same year he met Taylor Hackford and began discussing the movie project.
Okay, Mr. C.
Yeah, here we are.
Is that the coffee?
Yeah.
Does it have the gin in it?
Yeah. No, of course, you can't tell our secret.
Of course you knew I was
That's a
gonna
secret
ask.
recipe. God, well, I'm in deep trouble now. Oh, shit.
What you say? The movie tells the story of Ray Charles, warts and all. Taylor Hackford had the script translated into Braille, sent it to the man himself, and held his breath. It was returned with only 2 small changes.
He read the script, he understood what we were saying, and he said, you know what? Tell your story.
The movie deals honestly with the 2 vices that almost destroyed Ray Charles: drugs and women. He was addicted to heroin for 17 years, but he quit cold turkey and stayed clean the rest of his life, 4 decades.
Every band I ever worked in, I was the only kid in it. And I must tell you, these people did their best to try to keep me away from drugs because they would go away in intermission and they wouldn't take, they would leave the kid right there. He'll be all right when we come back, you know. I would beg them and plead with them and let me go, please let me go with you guys, please. And after a while, I guess they say, well, Jesus Christ, just to shut him up, would you please? And it's just a matter of wanting to belong, and when you want to belong and eventually you get involved, then you start doing what the people around you are doing.
Ray Charles also had a lifelong weakness for women, even after he was married.
You know I had my eye on you all night long. He feels a risk because he figures that's the way to tell her she's good looking enough.
You did something when I walked in that I'm going to ask you a pointed question.
Well, go ahead.
You shook my hand and you put your other hand on my wrist.
That's right.
And you said
that's
you
me.
Can tell a lot about a woman
that's
from
right.
the wrist. Okay, tell me about me.
No, that's quite true. Well, what I'm interested in when I do that, 2 things. You know, you'd be surprised when you take your hand, you put it around a person's wrist, anybody. First of all, it's going to give you, number 1, approximately the size of the person, and it's going to also tell you more or less what the height of the person is. When they hand you you shake their hand, you put your hand on the wrist, because that's going to reflect your arm is going to come to reflect what your height is. Isn't that right? So you can. This is what that's my formula now, but I ain't gonna
Come on, tell me. Am I short? Am I hippie?
I refuse. I'm not going to do that because I want to remain blind. See, people already think of me that way, and I don't want to change that perspective.
I hear like you see, like that hummingbird outside the window, for instance.
I
I can't hear, huh?
You hear that? A heart just skipped a beat.
No cane, no seeing eye dog, total, complete control of his environment. In fact, to the point where I went, this is a hoax. This guy can see. I really, believe me, he was that, impressive. But of course, he couldn't see. He'd had both eyes taken out.
He came from the most abject poverty that you can think of.
Ray Charles was not blind when he was born in 1930 in Albany, Georgia. At the age of 6, he suffered glaucoma.
I was the only blind child in the whole little town. And so, which made me different. I was an oddball,
In the South, in the 30s, being black was a disability enough. But the son of a strong-willed mother was not allowed to seek sympathy for his second disability.
Yes, I know, but...
Stop it. Stop it right now. We ain't got no time for no tears. Ain't nobody gonna have no pity on you just because you're going blind. Now wipe them eyes.
Yes,
I did everything that normal kids do. I had to wash clothes, I had to scrub the floors, I had to cook, I had to clean house.
Now, was this instilled in you by your mother that you could do anything
Yeah.
you wanted to
Oh,
do?
my mom was a great woman. I'm so thankful. You never know how this is why I said she was such a great woman, because she saw way in the future.
You're gonna have to learn how to use your memory. Now turn around, and I want you to pull out your hands and use them as your eyes and find a door. Good. That's real good, baby.
See, now, if I want to, I can go to my apartment, cook my breakfast myself. I don't have to ask nobody to help me do nothing. Isn't that great? I mean, I love that. She always felt that, look, just because you don't have your sight, you still have your brain, and you can do anything anybody else can do. You just have to find another way.
Ray Charles found another way, and he saw the world in ways no one imagined. He broke barriers no one thought possible. From rhythm and blues.
Have some fun. You only live for once, and when you're dead, you're done. Let the good time roll, man.
To country and western.
Just give me a C chord and play it in 3-4 times.
Jazz on the saxophone. And pop on the piano.
How do you select a song that someone else has written and decide to Ray Charles-ize it?
Okay. Well, I'll put it to you with a question. How do you decide what dress you want to buy that somebody else made?
If it feels right.
All right now. Thank you.
Ray Charles played what no one else dared or could.
If you want me to do something special, I'm gonna need my own band.
Okay, but you're gonna have to make it work, Ray.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. Yeah.
One particular night, it got to be about 1:45 or something, and I had played everything I could think, and I'd run out of songs to play, so I told the cats, I said, well, look, whatever, you guys just follow me.
Now, band, follow me. Do what I do. Say what I say. This is how we're gonna do it.
And we started. And the people started dancing man and dancing.
She got with the double ring. She knows how to shake that thing down.
What I say was an accident. I mean, it really was. I'm not putting you on. So somebody asked me, said, man, where can I buy that record? There ain't no record. Oh, man, you need to record that.
Nobody's ever combined R&B and gospel before.
You're turning God's music into sex. All y'all going straight to hell.
If all y'all want me to keep playing, let me hear you say amen.
Monica Kaufman Close-Ups, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery Corporation, providing over $7 billion to education in Georgia. And Kroger, right store, right price. We now return to Monica Kaufman Close-Ups.
It took director Taylor Hackford 15 years to get the motion picture Ray into theaters, and that turned out to be a good thing for one all-important reason. Any sooner, and the movie would have been made with someone else in the lead role. Jamie Foxx doesn't simply pretend to be Ray Charles, he inhabits him so convincingly you will forget that you are watching an actor.
How did you not impersonate him, because you didn't?
We got a cassette tape. On the cassette tape, you hear, I'm just so happy to be here. I really didn't even know you knew my music. I mean, this is great. And further on in the tape, as you notice, when you asked Ray a question, he stuttered a little bit.
Yeah.
Because whenever he was confronted with things, like on the tape, Donna Shore says, talk about the drugs, Ray. And you hear, you know, and so we took those small things, and we put them in the movie. So when you're watching in the movie, when Della B, his wife, confronts him about other women, when the other women confront him about his wife, when he's confronted about drugs, it was immediately that closing up thing. So all of those elements went along with it. And also putting I was blind for 12, 14 hours a day.
Now, tell me about that. Were you wearing a prosthesis, or did you use a glue?
Prosthetic. It was a prosthetic. You feel like you closed up, and I had to keep them on for 12 hours. Now imagine having your eyes sealed shut for 12 hours. Even during lunch, there was a point when we was on the set, and this is crazy. They said, and that's lunch. And everybody took off, and I was just, sitting there like, when's somebody gonna come get me? And we used that also. They said, how many times did Ray Charles sit there and people just took off and left him? So what Ray Charles wanted to do, he wanted to perfect his craft so good that people would start bringing lunch to him. And that's another thing that you see in the movie.
Atlanta, you've been great. There's no better place than Atlanta, Georgia. Give it up for yourselves.
Until very recently, Jamie Foxx was known only as a comedian. This is his 6th year hosting Laugh-A-Palooza. It goes from city to city, shining the spotlight on aspiring comedians. Now on the top, Jamie hasn't forgotten what it's like to be on the bottom. Even after stints on In Living Color and The Jamie Foxx Show, he found himself in need of work and moved from L.A. to Las Vegas. There was nothing funny about it.
Now, nobody wanted to hang out with you because it wasn't part of L.A. It wasn't a way that they can get on. And that made me understand something, that when I was walking in L.A. and I didn't have anything, then when I did get something, all these people was around me, I realized why they were around me after I moved to Vegas.
Slowly, Jamie began to attract new attention with small dramatic turns in movies such as Any Given Sunday, Bait, and Ali. But it was earlier this year in Collateral that Jamie Foxx made audiences sit up and take notice.
I think he's dead. Good guess. You killed him.
Now with Ray, he has finally arrived in a big way.
Ebony! Right on, right on.
What does a cover like this mean to you?
You know what? It's like we've never done covers, and for this is a great thing.
Do you feel like you made it now?
Yeah, we feel like we made it. I'll take that. We feel like we have made it.
To win the role of Ray Charles, Jamie had to audition, not just for Taylor Hackford, but for the real Ray Charles, and not just reading lines from the script.
You're anxious, you can't wait to show him what you got, and then you finally show him what you got, and you hit the wrong notes, and he goes, well, what the hell was that? Now, why would you do that? And he was serious about it.
But here's something you may not know about Jamie Foxx. He went to college on a classical piano scholarship.
Damn, you got a voice.
So when you get the Oscar buzz, it does two things. For one, for the person that says, I wasn't going to go see Ray Charles anyway, they're going to go see the movie. Two, it puts me in a different club. At the premiere, it's every person and their mama that has ever done anything in Hollywood significant. Steven Spielberg, Will Smith, Janet Jackson, Jermaine Dupri, Samuel Jackson, all these people, and they get caught up in this movie. They cry and all these different things. So that's what it's about.
Despite all of this joy, there is sadness. Last weekend, just after taping this interview in Atlanta, Jamie Foxx got the news that the beloved grandmother who raised him had died in Houston. Like Ray's mama, she was a strong woman.
His mother gave him sayings.
Yeah.
What were the sayings your mama gave you?
Boy, I'll beat you till you bleed. You don't lost your damn mind. And if she puts those two in the same sentence, that means it's about to happen. Boy, I beat you till you bleed. Have you lost your damn mind? So it was certain sayings that we all know in the South that they've used. But my grandmother was a strict disciplinary person, but she needed to, because we was born as a kid, as a young man, we need to be tougher on boys, because, you know, we do get into a lot of things. But she knew that I was destined to go do something special.
We now return to Monica Kaufman close-ups.
Ray Charles never walked the front lines of the civil rights movement, but he did protest racial injustice by refusing to play for segregated audiences. Believe it or not, that got him banned from performing in Georgia, supposedly for life. Things turned out a little differently, of course.
Ray went through these racial obstacle courses. I mean, you look at it, a man in the 40s and the 50s, they were killing black men at that time for just being black. To see him navigate through Florida, navigate through Georgia, all these places, that's what was so courageous about Ray.
I'm just not the kind of a guy that can let somebody do something to me, haul off and knock me upside my head, and then I just go ahead and take that and say, okay, go ahead, you can do it again if you want to. So I can't do that.
America, sweet America, you know, God done shed his grace on thee.
But the irony of this black entertainer from South Georgia, making it in a white man's world during one of the most tumultuous times in history, rang clear one day in 1979. Ray Charles sang Georgia on My Mind in a room where at one time, men legally restricted other men from voting.
I just want you to know this old sweet song, it keeps Georgia on my mind.
I cried, if you want to know what I did. I mean, truly, all I could think of is where I came from and how far I come. And they stood up. I mean, stood up for me. All I could do, I couldn't even say anything. All I could do is sit there and cry like it's look silly, you know, but I couldn't, that's all I could do.
It took that long for them to realize, you know, how ignorant it was and how crazy things were back then. Because Ray Charles would tell you, he said, I don't know what a black bathroom looks like and a colored bath and a white bathroom looks like. So I'm sure that was a proud moment, but a bittersweet one.
Jamie Foxx's proudest moments are growing on a daily basis, and not all of them have to do with newfound fame and glory.
Family's important.
Jamie Foxx virtually raised his younger sister, Deidre, who was headed down the wrong road, but now is successful enough to loan him money. Come over here, hug your sister.
All right, now.
Now turn into the camera, stare back and see how cute you are.
Little Deidre Dixon making so much money, so proud, little young black girl from South Dallas. You made it. I've taken her all over the country, all over the world. We was in Italy, we was in France. She's doing things she never thought she'd do.
Is he a good big brother?
What? You better.
The best big brother ever.
I'm the only one too, but anyway.
No, you're the best. That's
I'm a father.
everybody, basically.
I'm really raised her.
My dad.
She came from South Dallas with so much anger and done so wrong and everything, but now she's doing her thing.
Thank you.
You know, that's what it's about. Don't cry.
Don't cry. Thank you, sweetie.
Get on out of here.
Thank
Get yourself together.
Jamie is happy about the magazine covers, happy about all the Oscar buzz, and he is especially happy the movie was finished before Ray Charles died last July.
Ray got a chance to see the movie before he passed.
He got a chance to see the movie.
See the movie in his own way, but Ray never would say that I hear, or he would always say see. He didn't want to give into that. But he got a chance to see it and put his blessing on it. And so that's what was great about it, because it's like, you know, you think, you know, that you want to give people their flowers before they pass. He got a chance to get his flowers.
Monica Kaufman Close-Ups, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery Corporation, providing over $7 billion to education in Georgia. And Kroger, right store, right price.
Let me ask you about...
During my interview with Ray Charles in 1988, I mentioned that I would be hosting a live music special here on WSB-TV Channel 2. It was called One Hot Georgia Night, but Ray Charles made it magic as well.
And we told him about our special night here in Georgia. He said, "I'll sing a song for you all."
Other arms will reach out to me.
It was his signature song, a song Ray Charles picked up from Hoagie Carmichael way back in 1959.
I know.
He sang it hundreds, probably thousands of times, but never, they say, did he sing it the same way twice. On this hot Georgia night, he sang Georgia on My Mind for us.
Oh, my Georgia, and I no piece of mind. It's just an old tree song. Oh, I know, keep Georgia on my mind. On my mind, I know, Lord, keep your old tree song on. Keep Georgia on my mind. How people, the little girls are on my mind. Ain't she? Oh, yeah. Look out, Atlanta.